Good morning, dieharders. Who's ready to live free or die hard? I am your host, the Shogun. This is an episode of S&W Experience Podcast, and with me is a very special guest. Well, special to me and special to many others on TikTok, social media, and wherever you find out where your public figures are. Mickey, how do you do?
Hey, good afternoon, Shogun. How you doing?
Oh, I'm Jim Dandy, just having a day of days amidst the rubble. You know, it's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to get your take on this new Harry Potter game, the Hogwarts Legacy. I bring it up because they announced a week ago that this video game would be the first Harry Potter story to feature a trans. It's not a Harry Potter story because it's set in like the present day, and Harry Potter's set like years ago, so it's like it's a new thing basically. They said it would be the first like wizarding story
Yeah.
to feature a trans character. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Like,
Yes, absolutely.
so you're cool with
So,
yeah.
I,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think it's a good thing that they include a part of the LGBTQIA plus community into the mainstream media, especially bringing out a trans character into gameplay. Especially with the controversial things that have been going on with the person who created the Harry Potter series.
Yeah. You feel like the addition of this character is a move by the people behind the video game to be like, hey, look, we don't stand with this person. We're actually for trans characters. Here's proof. We have a trans character in our video game. You see, it's. Do you think it's a? What I'm asking is, do you think it's a genuine like move of showing progressiveness, or is it more of a case of hey, don't link us with them? Okay, we're not with J.K. Rowling. We're actually with you.
I absolutely think it's progress. I think it's time for society to wake up and realize that, hey, things are not just about the cis people out there, and that there are millions of LGBTQIA plus people living in and around everywhere in this world. And I think it's time that we say, hey, everyone needs to be included, no matter what race, sexuality, gender, or anything that they are. End of the day, we are all human.
Yeah. Just so long as it's not for the just for like to get brownie points and PR with a certain community. Like there have been times when films and games and whatever will have a trans character in the story just so they can
Yes.
say, oh hey, there's a trans character in the story, even though the character doesn't do anything. But they're there, because they're under the
Yeah.
assumption that just having the character is enough to get people in that community to buy their product. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and on a personal note, I mean I can see why you do that. It's a proven thing that if someone sees someone like them in a popular media that they'll be drawn more to that media. But it's in this way that it's kind of shallow. That's all it is. It's pretty shallow. It's like a big
Yeah.
sign just saying, look how progressive we are. We're not really, but like we just want you to think we are. Yeah,
I agree with you.
yeah.
Yes.
Also, while remaining on the subject of the character, it's oh yeah, just if you had to take a wild guess, how long do you think this character, like the first ever trans Harry Potter character, appears on screen for? Just if you had to take a guess with how big of a deal they were making of it, how long do you think this character would be on screen for?
I'm not sure, hey. But I think it's gonna be in for the long run. Including the LGBTQIA always brings more people to either subscribe to the content or download the games or pay for the games that are being put out there into the media. So I think it's going to be a long run because I had some time to think about it, and hopefully it will be in for the long run.
I can tell you exactly how long the character is in the game for. See, because I went online and it turns out the game itself lasts. It can take you anywhere from 20 to 25 hours to finish. But the amount of screen time that the first ever trans character in Harry Potter is, she's only on screen for 5 minutes. In a 30-hour game, she's only on screen for 5 minutes.
And I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong. Then it's showing that they just want to do this to kind of take the piss at J.K Rowling.
Yeah. And to top it all off, like, there's literally one line of dialogue acknowledging she's trans. And if you can actually miss it if you're not paying attention, because she says that I get weird looks. Like, she used to get weird looks from people all the time. It took years before her classmates realized she was a witch and not a wizard. Like, if you're not paying attention, you can miss that. Like, huh? What are you trying to say? Like, what do you mean? Isn't it obvious that this woman's a witch? Because it's heavily insinuating that, oh, she used to be a man. But, like, they don't actually say that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have a trans character, have them be trans. At least have them say that they are trans instead of alluding to it. Because then, yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that note, yes.
Absolutely. There's been apparently some backlash over the character's name, like Sirona. Like, I don't understand why it's a name, because realistically a trans person would pick their own name. So, like, just having a character with the name of Sirona, like, what's wrong with the name Sirona? I don't understand that.
It's kind of giving the impression that they want to copycat Serena Williams.
Yeah, there is some similarities there. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just, thing is, with the trans community, there's a very fine line one has to walk when attempting to, I don't know, cater to them in a way. Like, you have to cater to them not just by having a character, because they can see through bullshit. Like, members of a community can see through a lot of bullshit, whether they're trans or gay or whatever. If they feel like this is just for show, like, they'll see through that, you know.
Yes, absolutely. Society today, the more modern, open-minded people of today are woke, and I think they will see through all this nonsense that is happening. So yeah, agree with you.
Yeah. With the as in regards to, honestly, of all the things, I'm kind of not amazed, but I'm appreciative of their level of restraint, not to make it obvious that this is a trans person. Because if you were to look at the photo and without any context, you would just think, oh, this is a regular, like, cis woman. So that I applaud them for, because there's a lot of trans people who went from male to female who just look like everyday women you see on the street. But more often than not, in popular media, whether it be a movie or a TV show, when you have a trans character, for some reason they insist on making it obvious, like giving them wild hair or crazy clothes, or just having a man wear makeup, or just casting a man in makeup to just say he's trans, you know?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. In regards to that, I wanted to get your take on, are you okay with the idea of a character on a film or TV show being gay, but not being played by a gay guy?
I think it's strong in today's media. Straight characters getting the roles of LGBTQIA characters. It's also the way, disabled people, people who are not disabled playing disabled characters, or people who do not suffer from mental health problems playing that role, because they don't live through what we've been through, and they don't know on the personal level what we know.
Yeah, they can't properly translate and relate to the character if they don't, on some level, understand what it's like to be them, even for a day.
Absolutely.
But there is like an argument to be made for having like straight actors play those roles, because look at movies like Boys Don't Cry. Hilary Swank isn't a man, but she played a man in that movie. She got an award for it. Uh, Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger aren't gay, but they played two gay guys in Brokeback Mountain, and that movie was amazing. So
Yes, yes.
would you agree that on some levels it's okay to have straight actors play LGBT roles so long as it's done in a respectful way?
I agree with you. To a certain point. To a certain point, yes.
Yeah. There was on the subject of the trans community, I remember a while back Scarlett Johansson was set to star in this movie. um, to give like some context of back then, Scarlett Johansson had gotten some flack because she starred in this live action Ghost in the Shell movie where the lead protagonist is a Japanese woman. She's Japanese in the comic book, she's Japanese in the cartoon, she's Japanese in the video game, but for the movie she was a white woman, and people were up in arms because, like, how dare you, it's whitewashing, how dare you cast a white lady to play a Japanese lady. And after that, she got cast in this other movie about this trans woman who would go on to become a man. And I can't remember specifically who it was, but it was a story about how a trans woman would go on a journey to become a man because, she always felt like she was male, felt like she was born in the wrong body, all that. But the trans community got up in arms about it, so much so that rather than recast the role, the studio decided to cancel the movie entirely. You feel like that was the right call?
On a personal note, I think that, I think it was racially motivated as well. And the director and the producer and the writers who did that are definitely at fault, and they should be legally accountable for their actions, because I personally think, and I think everyone would agree, that it's just wrong. It's inhumane.
Yeah. There's plus have there's this belief that having straight actors play roles for that are written for gay men, then it's like, well, what happens to gay men who are also actors? What role are they gonna play? Like, if the straight actors are playing the gay guy, then what am I gonna do? Because you can't really, I mean, you could, but it wouldn't work as well if you hired a gay man to play a straight man. You get what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say? Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
shit. It's weird though. Talk a lot about the LGBTQ side of things. Also, wait, can just to clear something up, it's LGBTQIA plus, right? It stops at the A and then you just
Yes.
have a plus.
Yes. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersexual, and asexual plus.
Oh, good, good. Because like, I
Yes.
remember in primary school, it was just LGBT. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, lesbian, gay, bi, trans. I understand that. Then when I got to high school, it was LGBTQI. Then I'm like, that's a lot of letters, but okay. People do what they gotta do. Now I'm in college, it's LGBTQIA plus. I'm just freaking out like, wait, there's more. There's more beyond that A. Like, that's not an acronym,
That's
that's a
why
word now. Just
that's why they call
wait.
us the Alphabet Mafia.
Damn. Damn. I remember there was this like joke I saw online. Like my friend showed it to me. Like this one like bigot was going, I swear every year like LGBT community just adds another letter just to screw with straight people, and like this one member of the community reacted, yes. And every time someone says something like this, we're gonna add another letter because we know it drives you crazy. Like just
Absolutely. And that's the way it should be. We should live our lives as long as we are respectable citizens and we follow the law and no child or no human is being heard. We should be able to live our lives exactly what we want, as long as we are respectable towards other people's beliefs and sexualities.
yeah, we have like the right to live our lives and be who we want to be, so long as we don't bother anybody or violate anyone else's rights. And then there will be, even if you do live your life in your world with your people, there's guaranteed to be somebody coming out of the woodwork saying this is bothering them. Even if it's nowhere near them or has nothing to do with them, there will be someone who will be offended by the mere existence of it. Just, those people are everywhere. And they're annoying. They're like weeds. You pull one out, just you come back the next day, there's two more. Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's one thing about us. We can never fulfill society's expectations.
yeah. It's like, if I could try and boil it down, sometimes there's this like feeling, like of the people who hate, they say like, there's those people who are like, I don't hate LGBT people, I just wish they wouldn't do that stuff in front of me. So then people move. They have like clubs they go to. They do their stuff in their own house, and there's still those people who are mad, even though it's not in front of them. If it's nowhere in their sight, they're still mad. Like, I don't hate them. I just wish they wouldn't do that, like in this city or whatever. Or there's always this boundary they're trying to push us with. Like, it's bizarre. Nobody wants to admit that they're the bad guy in this.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll see you. Oh, I gotta go now.
That's all right. It was great hearing from you, getting to pick your brain on these topics. I mean, I don't got a lot of people I can talk this kind of stuff with. So to get the insight of someone who's in
Did you
on this
record?
is, yeah, 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 absolutely.
Oh, did she record? I just want to make sure.
Absolutely. Been recording. So
Okay.
it has been definitely, insightful getting to pick your brain on this sort of things. And, hopefully we have more conversations such as this in future. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
until next time, dear listeners, I have been the Shogun, and this has been Mickey. Anything you want to say to the people out there? As a final thought before you go?
So my last message for everyone is just live your life. Don't listen to what people say. If they don't feed you, fuck you, or finance you, their opinion doesn't matter over you. Peace out.
I smoke because it gives me peace of mind. I smoke because it gives me knowledge.
I mean, I don't, but I really should if I'm gonna have to tolerate reading all the crazy shit that J.K. Rowling has said in the past. Rowling?
Do y'all know? I mean, does it really matter? Does anyone truly know how that's pronounced? Because, she says one thing one time, and it's pronounced one way, and a couple years later, she'll probably say it's another, like she did with the Voldemort thing. I mean, one year it could be Rowling, another year it could be Rolling. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? Who cares? Let's get on with this, man. Earlier in the video, we've talked about how we talked about the trans character Sirona Ryan appearing in the Hogwarts Legacy video game. I just want to. I'm not. Again, I'd like to preface this by saying I'm not trying to. I have nothing against the trans community or members of the LGBT community. Okay, you can't hate something you're a part of. I mean, you can if you're like a part of the KKK and you have a conscience. You can totally hate that. That's cool. It's cool to hate something you're a part of if that's the scenario you're in, you know. But hey, whew. Or if you're like a member of the NRA or something and you hate gun violence in schools, then sure, you could totally have some anger towards easily accessible guns if they end up being used in that way. That's cool. But all that to one side, I came here to talk about the existence of the first ever trans character in a Harry Potter media of any kind. I don't have an issue with the addition of a trans character in this universe. I have an issue with the trans character being planted in this universe just to get curb favor with that community and solely for that reason and not have any substantial addition to the plot. Like, this is an NPC role that could have been played by anybody. What does this character being trans have to do with her character? One line of dialogue and nothing else. People are up in arms about this character, her name, and the fact that, she's actually voiced by a cis man, not a trans man. So, yeah, good old whoever the fuck is making this should have seen that one coming, Can't announce like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a trans character in our video game, but they're gonna be voiced by a straight white guy. We're gonna have a trans female character voiced by a white dude, by a straight dude. That's gonna ruffle everybody's fucking feathers, and you can kind of hear it in the voice. It doesn't sound, like when a female puts her voice through a modulator, and it's like, you killed him, or something like that. The voice comes out kind of off, but not good. It's altered enough that you can. Thing is, it's a female voice when they do those things. When you put your voice through a voice modulator, a guy sounds like, or they're talking like this or some shit like that. But when a female puts it through, their voice changes to this pitch. That's how you can tell, like, oh, it's probably a female modulating her voice, so it's probably a dude, because the modulation is different. Two dudes, if they ran their voice through a voice modulator, would sound the same. But if the two people using it were a guy and a woman, they would sound different. They would sound vastly different. You would be able to tell which was the woman. That is, of course, if you know what a woman's voice going through a voice modulator sounds like already, which I do. I am getting way off topic. One thing, excuse the voice, y'all. I'm having a bit of a cold. One thing that I'd like to point out about the mere existence of the trans character in the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy game is that that's an anachronism. The very existence of this character is an anachronism. In case you are not well versed in dictionary language, an anachronism is a thing belonging or appropriate to a period other than that in which it exists, especially a thing that is conspicuously old-fashioned. Not exactly that, but is also known as the action of attributing something to a period to which it does not belong. An anachronism, for instance, would be a Samsung E250 showing up in medieval times. It would be, a fucking Nike shoe being the shoe that was found in the fucking Disney story of Cinderella. Glass slippers and all of that. Have a fucking Nike sneaker instead, and it would be pretty out of place, like something from the present day that is in the past, something that shouldn't be there. That's an anachronism, or something from the past that's put in the present day. That happens less often, but it's kind of No. That's actually not really possible. It's not really a possible thing to have something from the past be in the present day, because once you do that, it's just a thing now. But anyway, I'm getting wrapped up. I mentioned it's an anachronism because this is the first ever trans character in this Harry Potter world. And in the world of Harry Potter, the Hogwarts Legacy world, Hogwarts Legacy is set in the 1800s. To be more exact, sometime in the 1890s. Okay? Fine. I mean, you look around, it certainly looks that way. There's no cars, no guns. I mean, it definitely makes sense. This would be an 1890s story. But the first ever transgender person in history, someone by the name of Carl M. Bayer, I hope I got that right, was the first ever transgender person in history appeared in 1906. That's a whole decade. Just saying, that's a whole ass decade. And it's not like the tools were readily available to make someone transgender and they just didn't do it all this time. I mean, the first time it happened is probably the first time. I mean, the first time something's recorded in history is probably the first time it happened. So if there was, so not only is it an anachronism for there to be a trans person in 1890s, it's also an impossibility. Just not an unlikeliness, an impossibility. Unless you're trying to tell me that somewhere in the big bad book of spells that all wizards and witches learn at Hogwarts, there's a spell that allows you to change your gender. I mean, I know about like the Polyjuice potion spell that makes you into someone else, but like that just makes you someone else. It makes you that person. It doesn't make you a female you. It doesn't change your gender. That's the only explanation you could come up with in this universe to explain how there's a trans character, is that somehow, somewhere, this woman found a spell when she was a man and she used it on herself to become a woman. And also, everybody's reaction to it, everybody's just cool. Seriously, everybody's just cool. It's like, oh, whatever. No one mentions it. The character Ryan, Sirona Ryan, has to mention it herself. She's the one who brings up, like, yeah, most of my classmates don't realize that I was actually a witch, not a wizard. You know, like, I guess I guess we're trying to say that most of her classmates didn't catch on that. Oh, you're a woman now. I guess she looks a lot similar to how she looked when she was a dude. I don't know. The character isn't really well explained, other than being a friend of a troll named, not troll, a dwarf, I think. Someone named like Lodgok, I think his name is. Yeah, she's an NPC. She's the barkeep. You know that what troubles you, stranger? The stereotypical barkeep. You know, that's that character. You know, and she comes to the protagonist's defense for like one moment, and she's only in like 5 minutes of this 30-hour game, as previously mentioned, and that's it. We never see her again. So, first ever transgender character, and what does she do? She comes by, and she comes to the story, defends the protagonist, tells them where to go next, and, you know, if you ask her some questions, she'll fill you in on her backstory and how she knows so-and-so and whatnot. And then poof, she's gone. This is a role that could be played by anybody. But it was a role that was given to the first ever trans character. Only on screen for 5 minutes and then never again. Although if you don't ask her questions, it's probably like 2 minutes? 2 minutes in this 30-hour game? Like 20 to 25-hour game? That's the best you can come up with? Seemingly historic moment that you felt the need to mention on press releases and shit. And it just screams that you were doing this to try and stop people from associating you with J.K. Rowling. Because she's taken some, let's say, pretty inflammatory. She's made some pretty inflammatory remarks as it relates to the trans community, and you wanted to be like, look, we don't support J.K. Rowling. We have a trans character in our video game. See, we're not bad guys. She is. Don't, you know, it's okay if you don't like her, but like, you know, like support us, buy our game. You know, we got, it's like a big sign saying, look how progressive we are. I mean, I hate when people do that. You know, like, it's ridiculous, dude. It's pandering. I'm not mad that there's a trans character in a video game. I'm mad why there's a trans character in this video game. That's what bothers me. If this character is trans, I don't really care. I mean, one way or the other, you know, it's a character. I'm glad steps are being taken to be more inclusive to different minorities, ethnic groups, and communities. We're seeing more and more of them in our video games and culture. I'm glad for that, but man, just putting someone there for what is essentially window dressing and just putting them there for PR points, that's kind of, that's nah, I'm not here for that. That I ain't here for. But anyway, yeah, that's what I got to say. And now on to the craziness, man. On to the J.K. Rowling shit. Now let's move on to some more upbeat but also messed up stuff. Here's some stuff that J.K. Rowling said before all this shit. Dumbledore was gay the whole time. Bullshit, lady. Bullshit. If that was true, even a little bit, you would have written it down somewhere. All right. If you ever planned to reveal the dude was gay or to have dude be gay at any point in these books, you would have written it in one of them books. You would have hinted at it in some way, shape, or form. You would have done something instead of this retroactive canon bullshit of saying, "Look at his clothes," or some bullshit like that. Man, he's now giving us the story of, oh, him and Grindelwald, they used to. Get the fuck out of here, lady. You are bullshitting. Bullshit. Damn, retroactive canon bullshit, man. Did you just put the damn pen down and leave her books alone, man? Shit, she did something good back in the day, and now she's going out of the way to fuck it up. I don't have a problem with Dumbledore being gay. I have a problem with Dumbledore being gay solely because she says so, not because she wrote it in the book somewhere. This screams of, well, back then, it wasn't really considered, well, let's just say back then in the 90s, 2000s, and 80s and 70s, pretty much every decade that didn't have 10 in it, or pretty much every decade pre 2010, it wasn't really considered yeah, let's say from a business perspective, it wasn't a marketable thing to have a prominent character in your story be gay. So a lot of characters were straight white men. So announcing you have a gay character way back when, your book may not have been marketed as. Let's just say that a lot of companies wouldn't have taken your story if you had a gay character in it, or they would have changed the story. So yeah, this ain't one of them times. You want one of them times? Go look at the first Scooby-Doo movie, the one did by James Gunn. He wrote Velma as a lesbian in his script, and when he filmed the movie, the studio had to make changes, so she was insinuated to be a lesbian. But when the studio edited their version of the movie, the version we all saw in theaters, it wasn't even alluded to. They removed any and all trace that she might be lesbian, and they did it so effectively that in the second one, they gave her a boyfriend. So any idea that she might be is gone. Oh yeah, there's that bullshit. Studios weren't really all in back then. And then in the 2010s, there was a huge shift. People realized that there was a substantial amount of people in the LGBT community, which meant there was a substantial amount of money to be made. So suddenly having a LGBT character in your story was no longer taboo. It was no longer a bad thing. Now it was a thing that they were actively looking for. They were trying to say, what's a great way to get members of this community in theaters? I know, let's have one of their community in this film. His mere presence will be enough to draw people of that community, because they'll be able to say, look, there's someone on screen just like me. Thing is, people want that. People need that when they go to a movie. People love going to a movie and being able to see the main character of a story be someone just like them, because it puts the idea in their mind like, hey, that could have just as easily been me. That guy is just like me. If a guy like that, or a girl like that, or a person like that can do stuff like that, surely I can, right? As it relates to like things like that, that's a good feeling to have when watching a movie. And people want to see that. They want stories that are earnestly told and well made about people like them struggling and overcoming adversity to go on and lead happy lives, get a happy ending, get the girl, boy, whatever, just they want to. It's this line from the song, "We Can Be Heroes Just for One Day." It's like the song is like, "I will be king, you will be queen. We can be heroes just for one day." That is kind of what we want. Like we want to be. We're all the main characters of our own story, and we like having moments where we feel like the main characters of our own story. What we don't want is to go to a movie or play a video game where we go, look, this guy or girl just like me, and they're a fucking background character. They're a character you could delete from the story and it would make no difference. Nobody wants that. Nobody's looking for that shit. So why do you keep doing that? Tell me, Hollywood, why do you keep doing that shit? No one asked for that. Fuck that. Oh yeah. Here's some of the craziness J.K. Rowling said. Excuse that little rant there. Wizards didn't use bathrooms until recently. Perhaps the most notorious instance of Rowling's canon interference in recent days was a Pottermore exclusive fact. According to them, Wizards only adopted Muggle plumbing in the 18th century. Prior to that, any waste was simply magicked away. So what would happen is, when a wizard needed to relieve himself, they put it here, he or she would just crouch down, do their business on the floor, and then magic away the evidence. No wipe or nothing. Just, that's fucking disgusting. Who asked for this? Seriously, who was asking, J.K. Rowling, how did the wizards go to the bath? Did wizards always have bathrooms just like us? No, man. Nobody was asking those dumbass questions. So why would you, just, goddamn, man. I mean, what is this shit? Jesus, man. Pottermore is gone. Pottermore isn't even around anymore, man. It says like what happened to Potter in 2019, blah, 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 blah. Whatever, it doesn't matter what happened to it. It's gone and good riddance, man. There's some bullshit that it's like it was the place where she would go to spew whatever bullshit came into her head that particular day. It's like sitting in the back room somewhere going, so how do I fuck with Harry Potter fans today? How am I gonna screw with this fan base today? How am I gonna fuck with the people who give over their hard-earned money to read my stuff? Well, how am I gonna screw with the people who, pay my fucking checks and shit? Whatever. I'm not saying that's what happens, but it sure as hell feels like it. Goddamn. People with loud ass fucking car engines, man. And it's never an impressive car. The guys who have the loudest fucking engines drive the shittiest cars and they think they're hot. They're not. They're shit, alright? You're a punk ass, man. If you drove next to an actual car with a decent engine and a fucking good body, acceleration, handling, all that, you would sit there all pussified, because that's what you are. A punk ass bitch pretending to be tough. Anyway, there was this other one. Jewish students at Hogwarts. Another case of bullshitting. Due to it being a product of its time, the core cast of the Harry Potter series is all fairly homogenous. While this would be troublesome today, it was frequent when the book was published in the 90s. So when Jewish fans inquired about whether Jewish wizards existed in the world, she revealed that several of them went to Hogwarts. Oh. And even in here it says it felt like an attempt to be inclusive after the fact. Well, that's just something. She said there was a guy by the name of Anthony Goldstein, a Ravenclaw wizard, who was among the 40 original names Rowling wrote for the series characters. No. I'm sorry, lady, but you are bullshitting. You have been tested and you were tested and you have been found bullshitting. There is no Anthony Goldstein anywhere in these fucking books. This character does not exist. You just say he does. It does not make it so. Just because you say something happened and it didn't, no, that's not how an author works. The stuff that you wrote on the page is what is. Can't come out after the fact and say, actually, this is what would. If it was, you'd have written it down. Shit. There is no Anthony Goldstein. She just said that shit to once again curb favor with the members of the Jewish community, man. Another thing she did, she was like, well, Hermione was supposed to be black. Bullshit, man. In the immortal words of Nicholas, bullshit, man. Shit, that's some crap right there. I mean, goddamn. Hermione was supposed to be black. Hermione was supposed to be black. Hermione was supposed to be black. Oh, and she was supposed to have a wooden leg. Some crock of shit, man. If that was ever gonna be a thing, you'd have written it down. It's not what you wrote, and it's not in the fucking movies, so it's bullshit. Once more, J.K. Rowling, you have been tested and found bullshitting. Oh my god, she had a heavy hand in the casting for the movies of the Harry Potter shit. And at no point did she feel the need to mention, Harry Hermione or Hermione or her, who the fuck cares how it's actually pronounced. We'll pronounce it how the movies say it is. And another thing, before I go into this further, you're saying that this shit is actually coming out years later and saying, actually, it's pronounced, fuck you. You had a hand in the fucking movies. You could have corrected them way back when on how shit was pronounced. So don't come out now saying, actually, this is how the word is said. Shut up with that shit. No more retroactive canon bullshit. Somebody, please take this woman's Twitter page away. Not actually. Just be like, I don't know, ban the account for a year. Wake up, Zuckerberg, or whoever. No. It's not Zuckerberg anymore. It's Musk. Shit. Elon Musk. Wake up, Musk, man. Just like suspend this woman's account for a while. And I promise you, man, I feel like the duration of if we ever get a Fantastic Beasts 3, when they start production on that movie, just suspend their account and wait till the end of that movie's production. I promise you, there will be less crazy shit going on in that movie than in the last couple, man. The movie will be hated a lot less because people know she had nothing to do with it. She had nothing to say about it. It has nothing to do with her. It has distanced itself from her fully. We will know that for sure. You know why? Because she won't be saying shit about it or the world it's set in. Because this damn Twitter page is gone for that period of time. Just do that, man. Come on, Musk. Do us that one solid. Put the rockets to one side and just, ban a couple people from Twitter. You running the shit now. I mean, running it kind of badly, but still. Damn, man. Do us this one favor, man. J.K. Rowling, just put her account on pause for a while. And that Andrew Tate motherfucker, he's gotta go too. If he's gone, good job. If he hasn't, then what you doing, man? What are you doing? Really? What are you doing? What have you been up to lately? What does one do when they run Twitter besides walking in with a kitchen sink, firing half the staff and going, oh shit, we have twice as much work to do now. Oh no, everybody come back. What does one do when they're not doing that? Another thing, Nagini the snake. There was enormous fan backlash when Fantastic Beasts Crimes of Grindelwald revealed an unsettling truth. So, that snake Nagini from the Harry Potter movies followed Voldemort everywhere he went. Yeah, that snake used to be a person. Yeah, she had the ability to transform into and back out of a snake, but there would be a point in time where that transformation would be permanent, and you'd have no idea when or where that was gonna happen. So every time you turned could be the last. Just how fucked that is. How fucked up that is. You can turn into an animal, but there's a possibility you'll be stuck that way forever. Not knowing, you don't know how many times you can do that before you're stuck that way forever. That's fucking messed up. That is messed up, man. Jesus, dude. Oh, dude. It created a troublesome relationship between the two, especially given that Voldemort somehow survived on, wait for it, Nagini's milk. Just, that's all kinds of fucked up. All kinds of fucked up. Man, what the fuck? Just man, who asked for this? And the origin of Hogwarts name. This is a pretty tame one. This ain't as fucked up. It's just silly. Says that apparently Hogwarts got its name because Helena Ravenclaw, one of the founders of Hogwarts, picked the name after she had a dream about a warty hog. And then she just went, oh, that's it. That's the name. Hogwarts. I'm imagining it was some type of Avengers Age of Ultron scene where they were like, all the founders were standing there thinking, what are we going to name this school? What could we possibly name this location? And then Helena goes, hey guys, I got it. She remembers her dream about the warty hog. Hey guys, I've got it. Really? What is it? Let's hear it, Lena. What say you? Okay, are you ready? It's ba 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 ba, and the end scene right there, and reveal that then the Hogwarts name comes up, and cut to black, roll credits. Bullshit. Anyway, now let's move on to some shit she said on Twitter. If all famous people constantly criticize Trump for the next 4 years, he'll be too busy ranting on Twitter to kill us all. J.K. Rowling responds, when a pleasure becomes a duty. That's what she framed it as. Like, just, oh man. Another guy says, glad I caught this article on Yahoo. Oh, it's probably an American if he's using Yahoo. Glad I caught this article on Yahoo. I will now burn your books and movies too. Hey, you're a poet and didn't know it, oh! Whatever. J.K. Rowling responds, well, the fumes from the DVDs might be toxic, and I've still got your money, so by all means, borrow my lighter. It's that Easy E mentality of, you know when they were like running over NWA records with steamrollers and shit and crushing them and burning them, Easy E just said, shit, they can do whatever they want with them. They bought the motherfuckers. I mean, it's true. It is very, very true. These people can do whatever the hell. Yeah, this is very much of the attitude of shit. You can do whatever you want with the fucking DVDs and books. You bought the motherfucker. You already bought the damn thing. So I don't really care. It's like back in the day when they were burning Nike shoes to like send a message to Nike about some kind of shit. I think it was like a sweatshop or whatever. They were mad about something, so they burned the Nike shoes, and Nike was sort of just like, well, they could do whatever they want with the shoes. They already paid for them, so I mean, they're not really harming our bottom line. Just saying. A guy named Tom said, "Is it lonely up there on your high horse?" And she responded, "Gosh, no! I've several million women sitting beside me." Oh wow. Anyway. And there's this other one about this guy's question. What happened to Creature, the house elf, after the books? And she responded, he died, age 666. Wow, that's fucked up. I mean, that's a long time to be alive. It died, but to die at that age 666, that's gonna be eerie, man. There's gonna be some eerie shit going on. Like, hey, this dude died at age 666 years old. On the 6th month, on the 6th day of the 6th month. Jesus, man, that's messed up. I mean, that's an exaggeration that this is my personal favorite. It should really be applied to all her tweets. It says, a guy named Uncle Cletus, he responded, this tweet is gonna blow up when you die. And she responded, yes, let's talk more about when I die. It's cheering me up. Oh, man. And my response to all this, my final thoughts on all the craziness J.K. Rowling has said in the past, all the bullshit that's happened because of it, all the fucked up retroactive canon changes she's made to her own source material. I give this response that, well, Leslie Chow had when, the Wolfpack tried to say some, I don't know, they laughed when they found out that, oh yeah, dude said Chow was his lucky charm and he wanted to take him home with him, and the Wolfpack started laughing. So I'll have that similar response that Chow had when he found out they were laughing at his expense. J.K. Rowling, fuck you.
Use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in